what I perceive is different from what you perceive. Third is the attitude. Each other's attitude is different. Next is the value system. Then motivation. Our motivation level can be different, and what motivates you may not motivate me, right? So again, this is little more complicated than learning. My learning and your learning is different. Then coming on the conflict, how I handle the conflict and how you handle the conflict. I might prefer to lose some kind of argument rather than going physical and just throwing something on each other. Some might not be doing that. Some may go and abuse each other verbally, okay, but others may choose differently. So our conflict handling, some may do some negotiation, some may do some other aspects, some may try to do some arbitrage for negotiation. And so we all handle conflicts in a different way, and the impact of conflict can also be different. Somebody may be in a very deep conflict but does not have any stress. Somebody, they may not be in deep conflict but may carry huge stress with them. So how do we handle the situation? How do we handle the stress? How do I react or see things when I am under stress? How do I communicate when I am in under stress? These things complicate my behavior further. Next is the culture, the change. How pro I am to a change. We know that nothing but what is constant in the world is change. Okay, so everything will certainly change. You want it or you don't want it. If you are not ready to change, somebody will replace you and will go forward for a change. Okay, with the introduction of new technologies and with the fast moving technologies and internet speeds, we have seen tremendous amount of change happening in every businesses. And if the businesses are changing, we are bound to change accordingly. So suppose somebody is doing this lecture recording today. Previously, it was not possible to make it a live class. Today, it is. So one has to be ready for this change, right? Next is emotions. So icing on the cake, tip of the cake. The point is emotion. Now, all other things can be understood very easily. We have theories about it, and we can code or decode these personality aspects or behavioral aspects. Emotions are again a very typical thing to understand, and how people behave differently with their own emotions is really very tricky to understand, also, right? So let's see this example of a emotion. So you can see Messi crying and team members are smiling. Okay, same situation, same winning, but one person is crying and other is smiling and shouting. So if you win a match, somebody will shout, somebody will jump, somebody will show the feeling of happiness, okay, and one is crying. So two people behaving differently in the same situation. How will you deal with that? Next picture, if you remove the caption from this picture, nobody can tell whether they have won the match or they have lost the match. By crying, I can understand that somebody has lost the match, right? But then they have won the match. So, how will you justify that? But always, there are so many interplay of emotions that how somebody is going to react in a particular situation is really very difficult to understand. You need to really understand the behavioral part of the person to actually crack it down that how they are going to react in that particular situation. So overall, I can justify by saying that behavior is complex, but if we can crack it, we can understand it, we can actually make much use of the behavioral aspects of the person. Okay, as I told you in my previous class also, that if we can understand, if we can understand it, if we can make certain kind of prediction, we can use human behavior in a certain manner to get the job done, to get the goal achieved for the organization. Now let's go on the personality. As I said that today we are going to discuss the personality. So the term personality originates from the Latin word persona, which means to speak through. Okay, and earlier the people used to put a mask on their face, and accordingly they used to act. So personality come from the same thing, that what you try to reflect is the personality. But later on, some of the gradual uh, changes have been made to the definition, and now you can understand personality in a very general term, which includes emotions, attitudes, perceptions, and behaviors. So it's not exactly what you look from outside. Okay, so by dressing up in a certain way, we draw a conclusion that this person should be coming from a certain background. Okay, by interacting with a person, you may try, if somebody is speaking in their local language, you may draw a conclusion that a person maybe is not educated enough. If somebody is having certain kind of attire, you may draw certain other conclusion. So by interacting with people, we draw certain conclusions about their personality, which may be true or which may not be true at all. Okay, but then we draw conclusions. But personality is not exactly what we reflect to others. It is much guided by inner side also, because personality is all about how you are going to react. Your reaction can be guided by the inner force only. Okay, so it is all about the emotions also. Unless we know a person, okay, outer side of a person can be very different, from which we may try to understand and perceive about the person's personality, but it can be very different. Okay, there are certain cases also where you will see that the people are working against their personalities. For example, a teacher can be an introvert person, may not be liking to talk much, may not be liking to interact much, but then the person has become a teacher and has to interact on a daily basis. At least 3 to 4 hours they have to speak, they have to handle the students' query. Now the size of the class has reached up to 70, 75, 80, and in some cases more than 100 also. So you have to deal with those students, you have to do public dealing also. Okay, but then your personality is what? Introvert. You may not like it, right? So you have to either accordingly select the job of your choice, and if this is your choice, then you have to, you know, do a little bit changes in your personality also. So you have to fight it, and you have to make those changes within you, so that it becomes easy for you to communicate. So if you are introvert, then you have to move towards little extrovert, so that you are at ease in communicating. Otherwise, how will you do it? The moment a student will approach you, you will get irritated. It cannot happen in our system, right? So one has to make those changes. Next is, it is the sum of total ways in which an individual reacts to and interacts with others. And so a person has several traits. Based on these traits, personality is concluded. Okay, so introvert may not be just the introvert. There are certain other traits of the personality which will also be there. Okay, so apart from being an introvert, you can be very sensing. Okay, you can be very judging personality. We'll see what all kind of personality are there. So you can have a Mac personality. So there are different traits, and the more dominant trait is actually perceived to be your personality, right? So these traits are measurable in nature. So the best thing is that we all can understand what kind of personalities we are. Personality clashes may also happen. So there can be two very strong personalities, and when we work together, you must have seen people having those clashes among them, right? So many of the clashes you will find around yourself only. You will see people who are working in the same department may not be liking each other, because both of them want to become a leader. Okay, they both are competing for the same higher position, but then the personalities of both the people are so damn strong that they have those personality clashes also. Nobody is willing to accept the superiority of the other. Differences of the attitudes and values may lead to polarization and discrimination also. Now let's go on the next topic, that is determinants of the personality. So determinants are, the first is the biological factor. How your personality is decide gets decided. From where do you get your personality? What are the factors which affect your personality? So the very first is, but obvious, the heredity only. Okay, we get lot many things from our fathers and the mother, father and the mother, and in many cases you'll find that somebody's face is very much matching with the father or the mother, or you may carry some trait from your father or the mother. If your father is a very good player, high chances that you must be a good player, or you have a strong side towards the playing. Okay, somebody who is a singer, you must have seen people having some kind of legacy of singing and all. Even if you train me to sing, maybe after 20, 30 years of learning also, I may not sing very properly, right? Because that trait is totally missing in me. There is nobody a singer in my family, and so I don't carry it, right? So despite of giving me long lessons on that, you may not make me a singer, good singer. But then I can become many other things depending upon what trait I carry in me, right? So heredity is one thing, and it is seen that it is seen that twins, those who are born with one parents, in case they get separated also, then also they reflect the same behaviors. So many of the things of the twins will be similar, very much similar, despite their upbringing can be at a different place. Okay, and that is the power of the heredity. Next is the physical attribute. So how long you are, how short you are, what is the color of the hair, and other things are the physical attributes. And these physical attributes certainly contribute a lot towards your personality. We have how many of you view this television show Kaun Banega Crorepati? Do you watch that? Okay. I think 22 years before it got started, 22 years before. Okay, and I remember um, one show came as Kaun Banega Crorepati, started by Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, hosted by Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, and on some other channel, there was one more show. The name of the show was some on I'm missing the name of the show, but that was something 10 crore ka show, something like that. 10 kadam. Okay, right. And if I'm not wrong, it was hosted and anchored by Anupam Kher. No. Mr. Initially, not Salman Khan, I think. Okay, so oh my god, I haven't seen all those shows. But what I remember, maybe I'm missing the name, but the name, but then that was hosted by two celebrities. That was one Mr. Anupam Kher, and the other was Miss Koirala, Manisha Koirala, if I'm not wrong. Okay, that is there in my memory. I might be a little wrong in that, but then there were two personalities. Anupam Kher, I am very sure. Manisha Koirala, I'm little dicey. But anyway, that is there in the memory. Now, none of the shows, as you are telling me that there was multiple shows running on different channels, somehow I haven't seen all of them. But then all of the show died. If you think logically, you'll see that one show which is offering you 1 crore versus the other show who is offering worth of 10 crore, but always the 10 crore show should go on. ठीक है, एज अ कंटेस्टेंट माई चॉइस हैज टू बी कि मैं उस 10 करोड़ वाले शो में जाऊं रादर देन दिस 1 करोड़ वाले शो में, क्योंकि मेरी चांसेस वहां विन करने के 10 टाइम्स हायर है. ठीक है, बट स्टिल सम हाउ नन ऑफ द शोज कंटिन्यूड फॉर वेरी लॉन्ग, बट दिस कौन बनेगा करोड़पति इज स्टिल गोइंग ऑन. There is no doubt that Mr. Amitabh Bachchan personality is somehow dominating the culture of the show, and people uh, do get attracted by his personality. ठीक है. So no wonder your physical attributes, the voice which he carries, okay, and the kind of persona he has, is certainly affecting the show TRP and the people, and so it is going for so long. 20 years, by the way, is a long time. Okay, and if somebody is able to pull the show for 20 years plus, you can understand, yes. You can understand how strong personality that person must be and how strong fan following that person is. Somehow, no other celebrity is able to compete with him at the age of 70, 60, 70 somewhere. Okay, 80. Okay. So just imagine uh, people who are much younger, much charming, much popular is not able to compete with him even at the age of 80, right? So physical attributes certainly do matter a lot, and that also contributes to your personality. So how is your voice? How do you pitch your voice? So somebody who is a good maybe poetry teller, you will see that those person use their voice pitches. Okay, sometimes they raise it, sometimes they lower it, and that is the the power of speaking also, how well they pitch it, right? Next is the brain. So how will be your brain? That is also biological factor and somehow contributed. Much of the contribution is from your parents. Um, this also impacts a lot because if you are quite brainy, then your personality will be impacted by it, right? Next is family and social factors. So socialization, how well you socialize and how early you started socializing. तो सबसे पहले हमारी socializing start होती है from a very childhood only. So everybody who is there in our family, we interact with them, we socialize with them, and we learn a lot from them. So you must have seen that value system, culture, everything gets transferred through the family and the social system only, right? So whatever we are taught in our early age, that is something which we carry for a very long period of time. Next is the identification. So as a child also we start looking for a role model. So ज़्यादातर बच्चों को उनके पेरेंट्स एक रोल मॉडल की तरह दिखते हैं, ठीक है? तो somehow we want to become like our father or like our mother, ठीक है? And so we try to idolize them. So we quickly grasp their skill set and what they teach us, right? So we learn a lot from them, and that also contributes to my personality. I want to become like my father, and so I try to copy him a lot. If I want to become like my mother, I try to copy her a lot. Okay, so in terms of dressing style, in terms of the behavior they exhibit, those things we certainly like to copy. Next is the birth order. So, are you the first child in the family or the second or the third? इसके आगे मैं नहीं जाऊंगी, ज़्यादा हो जाएगा आज के टाइम के लिए एग्जाम्पल देने के लिए, ठीक है? सो इफ यू आर फर्स्ट चाइल्ड, क्या होता है फर्स्ट चाइल्ड के साथ में? हाँ जी, क्या होता है? हाँ, बहुत प्रोटेक्टिव होते हैं और क्या होते हैं, बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट भी होते हैं, ठीक है? जितनी स्ट्रिक्टनेस फर्स्ट चाइल्ड को देखने को मिलती है, उतनी सेकंड थर्ड चाइल्ड को नहीं मिलती है, क्योंकि वो थक जाते हैं, तो कहते हैं बस अब बहुत हुआ, इसको ही संभाल लिया, बहुत कर लिया, ठीक है? एंड सो लाइफ इज मच ईजियर फॉर द सेकंड एंड द थर्ड चाइल्ड if they demand something from their parents. So for the first child, everything is new, and so the first child has to actually fight a lot for many things. छोटी छोटी चीज़ों के लिए पहले बच्चे को काफ़ी फाइट करनी पड़ती है, बट सेकेंड थर्ड चाइल्ड को वो चीज़ें मच ईजियर मिल जाती हैं बिकॉज द पेरेंट हैज़ ऑलरेडी ऑफर्ड दैट थिंग टू द फर्स्ट चाइल्ड, तो वाई नॉट टू द सेकेंड और थर्ड? तो सेकेंड और थर्ड बच्चे को तो मेहनत ज़्यादा नहीं करनी पड़ती है. एंड सो ये बर्थ ऑर्डर ऑल्सो मैटर्स अ लॉट. So you must have seen that the last child in the family is quite bubbly one, and the first child is very serious one. ठीक है? The first child has to bear lot of responsibility. उसे ये कहा जाता है देखो तुम्हारा ये छोटा भाई बहन है, इसका केयर करना है. And so you grow much earlier than your brother, younger brother or the sister, right? So because wherever that brother or the sister is going, you have to hold his or her hand and take him or her with you. So these things make you much more mature also. And so the younger one are always very funny. उनको लगता है ठीक है लाइफ है, there is mother father very senior, then I have a elder brother or sister also who is taking care of me. वो हमेशा ही बच्चा रह जाता है घर का, ठीक है? So birth order also contributes a lot in your personality. So you will be much more responsible or serious, that might be having some relation to your birth order also. Then situational factors. Um, Life put us in so many different situations, and how we are going to react in those situations, it is purely upon what kind of personality I do carry. Okay, and that also shapes my personality. So पर्सनालिटी इज अ डायनेमिक फीचर. ये चेंज होता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार जो बन गया वो चेंज नहीं होता. We keep on learning until the time we mature. We have quite a strong personality, but that also change depending upon how hard you are hit with by the situations. ठीक है? So we deal with the situation, and so we learn, and so our personality also changes a lot. The last is the environmental factors. So culture influence human decision making, independence, dependency, attitudes, soberness, violence, competitiveness, cooperation, and shyness. So all these environmental factors also shapes our personality. So how well we are going to deal with it. So culture to culture. So if you think just state wise, culture in Gujarat, culture in Delhi, culture in say Andhra Pradesh, culture in Maharashtra, these are all very different, and from the kind of background do I come, that also shapes my personality. So these are the determinants of the personality, and you can see that if I behave in a certain manner, one of the determinants are the personality, and determinants of personality are further based on these so many factors. So, how much complicated it can be. Okay, let us go on the next slide. Ways to measure personality. Now, this is something very practical in nature. We are reading it in a theoretical manner, and I will see in case I can give you some kind of questionnaire to determine what kind of personality do you have. But let's see how fast I can go there. So, ways to measure personality. So, the first method can be self-report surveys, which can be done by the individual itself. So, in case you ask me to write some kind of report on myself, I will definitely give you some input, and by reading that you can understand my personality. What personality do I have? But then the problem is, in case I am much aware, I can also bluff you. Why will I write anything negative about me? It will be always some very positive. So if you say, ma'am, are you innovative? I am super innovative. Are you a change leader? I am super change leader. Do you have any fears? I don't have any fear. Do you have leadership quality? I am tremendously good in leadership. Okay, why will I say that no, I don't have, right? So self-report surveys are good way, but then they may not be 100% accurate. Coming on the next, observer rating survey. So people who observe you, as I told you that when we spend a lot of time together working, देखो आजकल के टाइम में टिपिकली 8 से 10 घंटे हम अपने कॉलीग्स के साथ बिताते हैं. ठीक है, सो यू कैन नॉट लव देम अलॉट. तो आप 10-10 घंटे किसी के साथ रोज रहोगे, तो बट ऑब्वियस दैट पर्सन विल स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग योर पर्सनैलिटी ऑल्सो, हाउ यू आर एज अ पर्सन. They can tell you better, and you may not be knowing about yourself that much also, right? So these co-workers, or there can be one observer who can write some kind of report on you by taking some kind of surveys, and they can explain it better. फिर इसमें भी प्रॉब्लम आती है. If you don't have any good relation with your co-worker, they might write much negative about you also. That can be also there. So the best method is to take both self-report surveys and observer rating surveys, and these two cannot be totally in contradiction to each other. मैं कहती हूँ मैं सुपर लीडर हूँ, वो कहता है लीडरशिप क्वालिटी है ही नहीं है मैडम के अंदर. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. दीज आर टू एक्सट्रीम एंड्स. मैं सुपर लीडर हूँ, मेरे में बिल्कुल क्वालिटी नहीं है. दो अलग अलग एंड है. इसका मतलब किसी एक ने या दोनों ने ज्यादा झूठ बोला है. ठीक है. So if you take it together, probably you will get much better accurate results, because two people telling about one person's personality in their own way, that has to be somewhere aligned. What methods we can use? The first is the personality inventories. These are also known as objective tests. And one of the most popular personality inventories are locus of control, which was developed by J.B. Rotter. आप सबने locus of control अक्सर सुना होगा. What is that? अक्सर लिखा होता है internal locus of control. What's that? So by the way, the point is that in case I believe that my skills and talents, my qualities can impact the way things are happening to me or the output which I want to give. In case I believe in that, then I have internal locus of control. But if I think that, see, I cannot do much, whatever is happening to me, that is happening because of my external environment, I cannot do anything on that, then that means that you are having a external locus of control. Okay, so this kind of personality inventories will have certain number of questions, and these questions, in case you take it to test your personality and make a right choice, अगर आप bluff नहीं करते हैं तो ये आपको एक correct result देता है that what kind of personality you are having. Next is the projective measures. So, personality inventories or objective tests are quite good in determining what kind of personality you carry. But then, in case you want to determine more subtle characteristics of the personality, for example, your dormant feeling, ambitions, aspirations, hopes, and other things, then these projective measures can tell much more in comparison to personality inventories. So personality inventories है personality के जो traits होते हैं किसी एक particular तरह की personality को judge करने के लिए उनसे related कुछ questions होते हैं, ठीक है. So उसमें कुछ कुछ questions कुछ कुछ चीज़ों को judge करने के लिए बनेंगे, and the moment you answer them, one can conclude what kind of personality you have. Now in this projective measures what happens, there are different tests, जैसे इंक ब्लॉट टेस्ट है, सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन टेस्ट है, थीमेटिक अपरसेप्शन टेस्ट है, पिक्चर फ्रस्ट्रेशन टेस्ट है, वर्ड एसोसिएशन ट्रस्ट है, ठीक है. नाउ दीज टेस्ट are conducted in a very different manner. For example, let me take thematic apperception test. This is also used in army, by the way, and this is one of the good tests to be judging for many of the areas. जिसमें से एक entrepreneur भी है. So whether you are having a personality of an entrepreneur or not, ये इससे बहुत अच्छे से जज हो जाता है, ठीक है. So what they do is they will show you a situational picture, ठीक है, and they will ask you to write a story about it, and based on the story which you have made out of that picture, उसको conclude करके उसको analyze करके एक आपको result बताते हैं, ठीक है. So with your story, whatever you are writing, they will test what kind of personality do you have. Okay. Next is the assessment center. There can be many assessment centers and many tests they can conduct. So situational test can be there, management difficulties test can be there, business plan presentations, in basket exercises, scenario based decision making exercises, and other simulated activities can be there to test your personality side. So बहुत सारे games हैं, बहुत सारी और टेस्ट हैं, वो भी कंडक्ट करे जा सकते हैं. Let me now further move on to the next slide, that is the personality and organization. So by the way, we did discuss that personality plays a huge role in determining what kind of behavior you are going to exhibit and how you are going to react to a certain situation. But when it comes to the organization, by the way, why do we study it? So there can be three reasons why we are studying about the personality. Number one, when you see it from the organization side, personality is the major consideration for recruitment, selection, or rejection. Okay, we know it very well that every organization needs people, um, people to get their work done, and we need people for many other activities also, right? Uh, Once you recruit a wrong person, it will become a burden, right? Though we do keep on hearing the term firing कि नौकरी पे रखा था फिर इतने लोगों को निकाल दिया, कोविड में इतने लोगों को निकाल दिया, इतनी कंपनीज बंद हो गई, इतने लोग फिर से हट निकल गए, ठीक है. बट प्लीज डू रिमेंबर, hiring and firing is not a very good strategy, and companies don't do it uh, uh, to play with the life of people. These are very strategic decision to hire and fire also. So it's not one day decision कि आज मुझे मन किया तो मैंने 100 लोगों को रख लिया, और आज मुझे मन किया कि ये लोगों को निकालने का मन कर रहा है तो निकाल दिया, ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है. So there is a complete different set of studies, human resource management की, where they actually plan how many of the number of people with what skill set we require for these number of jobs, and accordingly they hire them. So once you hire, it's not that easy to ask them to leave also. So that person is going to remain with you, and in case that person does not have a good personality which suits to the job and the position, you are in a problem. It will be very difficult for you to deal with that person. If you remember my previous lecture, I have told you that as per my experience also, all the resources which are available, they are very easy to deal with. I will not say कि उनमें कुछ दिमाग नहीं लगता, बहुत effort लगते हैं, but handling people is actually a different level, and finding a right person which suits your job and your requirement and the situation and your organization is really very difficult. ठीक है, तो इतना easy नहीं है that you hire somebody and you ask that person to leave. And so personality is a major consideration when you go for recruitment selection. So whether you will be selected or rejected, that can be very much based on your personality type. Okay, and so many organizations do rigorous check on your personality also. Next is personal development and team working. ठीक है, सो चेंज की हम बात करें तो चेंज तो होता रहेगा, और चेंज के साथ हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, हमें अपनी लर्निंग इंक्रीज करनी पड़ेगी. ठीक है, हमें अपने टैलेंट को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, हमें नई स्किल की चीज़ें सीखनी पड़ेंगी, सो दैट आई रिमेन to be a resource for my organization rather than more a kind of liability for my organization. ठीक है, so इसके लिए हमें क्या करना है, इसके लिए हमें personality development करनी पड़ेगी. Most of the people will see that people are not very happy working in a team. So you will see many people, they will say that they don't want to work in a team, they are happy working alone. Team के साथ में coordination becomes very difficult. ठीक है, then leading a team, again more effort. Sometimes you see that people in the team will also say that one person is contributing a lot and other is not contributing. ठीक है, अक्सर हम लोग बच्चों को जब क्लास में असाइनमेंट्स देते हैं, and suppose is a group assignment, by and large in every semester you'll find one or two group approaching to you and saying कि ma'am, we were the group of 5 students, we 4 have worked, but this one person hasn't done anything. ये आज तक का रिकॉर्ड है कि कभी ग्रुप एक्टिविटी दी है, और मुझे नहीं ध्यान है कि कोई बैच ऐसा गया है जिसमें ये शिकायत नहीं आई है. ठीक है, एंड दैट्स अ वेरी जेन्युइन थिंग ऑल्सो. इट्स नॉट दैट स्टूडेंट्स just come and say, they tell you the truth. By and large it will happen that 4 people are working and one is not contributing. Now they say that, it's a very genuine thing that I have worked but this person hasn't worked, and then you are giving equal marks to that student also. So it's unfair. उसने तो कुछ किया नहीं है. अभी तो आप स्टूडेंट हो and it's the matter of only some marks. कितना 5 नंबर 10 नंबर का कुछ असाइनमेंट्स होंगे. But when you are working in a company and your entire career is involved there, and then if you go and complain to your manager that this X person is not working and only we 3 and 4 are working, it's a great problem. It's a big problem. Okay, so team working. So you should have the personality so that you can deal with the situation. Guys, it's not happening that the company which you are going to join, there you will find a very ideal kind of people. We will only go and assume those positions. Okay, so the same set of people will go there and the same problems will exist there also. So you have to deal with that. You need to have that personality who can accommodate and who can make people work along with you also. आप फ्रस्ट्रेट होकर के रोज रोज शिकायत करोगे तो मैनेजर कितने दिन आप पे रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा. ठीक है, थर्ड थिंग, पर्सनालिटी एंड सोशल एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑल्सो. सो एज आई गेव एग्जांपल ऑफ अ टीचर, a person who is introvert but came into the job of a teacher. अभी जिसको बोलना नहीं पसंद था वो बोल रहा है, जिसको बहुत स्टेज फियर था वो रोज 3 घंटे स्टेज पे ही खड़ा है. ठीक है, so that's a huge personality clash. So ideal thing, either leave the job and find a better suited job, but in case you like this job a lot, you have to make that change in your personality. कहीं ना कहीं कुछ फाइन ट्यून करके, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ बैलेंस करके अपनी पर्सनालिटी को इस पर्टिकुलर सिनेरियो के लिए रेडी करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड विच पर्सनैलिटी टाइप यू आर एंड विच काइंड ऑफ जॉब्स आर मोर सूटेड फॉर यू, सो दैट यू गो इन अ प्रॉपर जॉब. ठीक है, आपको ट्रैवलिंग नहीं पसंद, बिल्कुल नहीं पसंद, आप ट्रैवल करते हैं, आप बीमार होना शुरू हो जाते हैं, एंड यू रेस्ट इन योर सेल्फ इन अ जॉब विच इज़ मोर ऑफ अ टूरिंग जॉब. कैसे जॉब करोगे? ठीक है, सो यू नीड टू बी स्टेशन एट अ प्लेस, राइट. देयर आर पीपल, अब जो जर्नलिस्ट हैं उनकी ज़िंदगी हमें लगती है बहुत आसान है, बट नहीं है आसान. ठीक है, अगर अगर वो उतना हार्ड वर्क नहीं करना चाहेंगे, वेर एवर द क्राइसिस इज दे हैव टू गो देयर. The crisis which I don't want to ever see, they go and witness that. They make a report on that, they present it on the television. ठीक है, वो क्राइसिस मैं रोज नहीं देखना चाहती. ठीक है, so if you are not of that personality type, how you are going to deal with it? You know, every situation will create a lot of stress on you. Will you be able to deal with that? ठीक है, so better you change your personality in case you are liking a job lot. थोड़ा सा पर्सनालिटी चेंजेस जरूरी हो जाएंगे. एंड फॉर इफ यू सी इट फ्रॉम द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन साइड, दे शुड सेलेक्ट अ पर्सन whose personality suits for the job also. Next is types of personality. So now some interesting portion is coming ahead. अभी तक जिसके बारे में हमने बहुत थ्योरेटिकली देखा, अब हम देखेंगे कैसी पर्सनालिटीज होती हैं. ठीक है, so the first personality type we are going to study is the big 5 personality model. And this is the personality assessment model that taps 5 basic dimensions of the personality. इसीलिए इसका नाम है Big 5 personality model. So the first personality is extroversion. So what do it mean? It means seeking fulfillment outside the self. So if you are getting fulfillment by doing something, and you think that you are contributing something, then you get then you are an extroversion personality. So in case after taking the test you score quite high. अच्छा, टेस्ट में क्या है, टेस्ट रिजल्ट्स 100 परसेंटाइल बेसिस पे होते हैं. सो पहला 3% इज़ वेरी लो, नेक्स्ट 27% तक आपको लो रखा जाता है, फिर आप मिडिल कैटेगरी में आते हो और सेम वे यू गो टू द हायर कैटेगरी. ठीक है, सो एक ये कर्व होता है बेल शेप का. ऑल दोज हु हैव स्टडीज स्टैटिस्टिक्स मस्ट बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग द नॉर्मल कर्व जो बेल शेप्ड होता है, सिमेट्रिकल होता है, उसी शेप में ये भी होता है. सो इन केस यू गेट अ हाई स्कोर, दैट मीन्स यू आर सोशेबल, ग्रेगेरियस एंड असर्टिव. ठीक, आपको बहुत अच्छा लगता है लोगों से मिल करके, बिकॉज यू गेट प्लेजर when you interact, when you do something outside. Okay, and you put your opinion very very firmly. Okay, if you have a low score, then you prefer working alone, you are reserved in nature, you are much more formal, serious, quiet, avoid direct leadership roles and so on. So आपको दिखेगा high and low score का difference. Agreeableness, so adjusting behaviors to suit others. In case you get a high score for that, you are good natured, you are cooperative and you are trusting. In case you get a low score on that, it means you are more factual. More factual का मतलब जो जैसा है वैसा बता दो. You will not sugarcoat anything. Okay, you are hard-headed, you are skeptical, you are competitive, you are proud, prefers competition over cooperation. Then next is consciousness, being honest and hardworking. So in case you get high score, it means you are responsible, you are dependable, you are persistent, you are organized, you are rule bound. Low score means you are messy, you try to violate rules. Emotional stability. You are being emotional, either you have emotional stability or you don't have the emotional stability. It is called neuroticism. So in case you get a high score over that emotional stability पे, that means you are very stable. And in case you are stable, it means you are calm, you are self-confident and you are secure. जो secure नहीं होंगे वो कुछ भी problem आएगी, they'll start crying, they'll start behaving in a very different manner. क्या करें, कैसे करें, how to handle the situation and so on. But in case you are emotionally stable, so when you see ups and downs of life, you will remain persistent. आपने देखा होगा people who are quite mature, वो इतनी आसानी से आगे रोना नहीं शुरू कर देते हैं, लेकिन छोटा बच्चा बहुत आसानी से रोना शुरू कर देता है. बिकॉज उस अभी छोटे बच्चे की इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी नहीं आई है. यू विल हार्डली सी योर ग्रैंड फादर कमिंग एंड क्राइंग टू यू, आज बेटा ये हो गया, नहीं आएंगे वो रोते हुए. दे आर इमोशनली स्टेबल, दे हैव रीच्ड अप टू दैट लेवल where they know how to handle it. Okay, so it doesn't mean that a younger person cannot have the emotional stability. Okay, so how early you get it, how early, maybe because of your situations, if you are learning it, then good, you have to learn it. हाँ, मैं इस पॉइंट पे आऊंगी. एक्चुअली क्या है, ये पर्सनालिटी के आपको डायमेंशंस बताए गए हैं. और एक इंसान सिर्फ एक तरह का पर्सनालिटी नहीं होता है. ठीक है, तो अभी मैं इस पे आऊंगी. व्हेन इट कम्स एज अ पर्सन, हाउ डू वी जज इट, अभी इस पे हम करते हैं. Let me finish it, then I will come over that only. So, in case you score high for emotional stability, then you are calm, self-confident, and secure. In case you score low, then you are more prone to anxiety, prone to worry, and you get easily upset very easily. Openness to experience. Seeking new experience and intellectual pursuits is the meaning of it. So, in case you score high, you are daydreamer, you are imaginative, you are creative, curious, artistically sensitive. In case you score low on this, it means you are down to earth, traditionalist, practical, conservative, technical problem solving is your core area, right? Now coming on the other one. अभी आपके क्वेश्चन को करेंगे, पहले सारी पर्सनालिटी टाइप्स डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, ठीक है. Second is the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is also known as MBTI, and this is the self-help assessment personality test, and it is developed by uh, Briggs Myers and her mother Catherine Cook Briggs in 1942, and it is about how people usually feel or act in a particular situation. It has 100 statements on human personality. It is widely used personality assessment test in the world. It has 4 dimensions, rather say 8 dimensions of it. Uh, First is the extroverted and then the introverted. Extroverted अगर आप हैं, this means you are outgoing, you are sociable and you are assertive. Introvert हैं तो आप quiet और shy हैं. If you go on the second two poles, that is one sensing and the intuitive, then in case you are sensing, it means you are much more practical and prefer routine or order things. Or intuitive hai, then you focus on details a lot. If you are type C, that is the thinking, then you use reasons or the logic. And in case you are a feeling type, then you rely on personal values and emotions a lot. अगर आप फोर्थ कैटेगरी में आते हैं, जजिंग में, देन यू वांट कंट्रोल एंड प्रिफर देयर वर्ड टू बी ऑर्डर्ड एंड मच स्ट्रक्चर्ड. और परसीविंग टाइप हैं तो आप फ्लेक्सिबल एंड स्पॉन्टेनियस हैं. ठीक है, सो अगर आप इस टेस्ट को लेते हैं, देन दिस टेस्ट विल गिव यू रिजल्ट बेस्ड ऑन दिस. नाउ extrovert introvert is coded as E and I, thinking and feeling as T and F, sensing and intuitive as S, and intuitive I की जगह N use किया गया है because introvert is already using the term I, so it is intuitive as N. Judging is J and perceiving is P. ठीक है, ये terms use किए गए हैं to codify it, right? Now, as there was one question also asked in the class that how actually we try to conclude the personality, because we can be mix of it, and in different situation we can also adopt different kind of personality. So maybe if I am with my close friends, then I can be very extrovert, but the moment I leave their company and go in my office, I go to meet in any other party where I don't see any of my friend, I become introvert. होता है, ऐसा होता है. So उसका आंसर यहाँ से थोड़ा सा आपको मिल जाएगा. So depending upon what kind of personality you have, there can be different combination. So you can be ISTJ, that means you are introvert. S means sensing, T means thinking, and J means judging. ठीक है. Similarly, all other combinations are also mentioned in the slide. Depending upon you, what you take a test, and you will get a kind of personality, and all combinations are there. हर कॉम्बिनेशन का एक डोमिनेंट फीचर होता है, और उस डोमिनेंट फीचर के बेस पे इनका कुछ नामकरण किया गया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सॉल्ट ऑफ द अर्थ, बिहाइंड द सीन लीडर. सो इन केस यू आर ISFJ, यू आर बिहाइंड द सीन लीडर. दैट मीन्स यू हैव द लीडरशिप क्वालिटी. बट आपने बहुत लोगों को देखा होगा स्कूल के टाइम पे, जनरली द किड्स डू सर्टन काइंड ऑफ plays or something on the stage, right? Must have seen people जो पीछे से उनको तैयार करके भेजते हैं, सब कुछ सिखा के भेजते हैं, बट दे आर नॉट ऑन द स्टेज. ठीक है. सो दे आर द लीडर, बिकॉज एक्चुअली अगर वो नहीं होते तो बच्चे कुछ परफॉर्म ही नहीं कर पाते. बट देन नो बडी नोज देयर नेम. So in most of the creative things, for example, in movies and all, you will see that there are people whom we don't know, and there are certain people who become the face. So who become the face? So but obviously they become the celebrity. But there are many people who work behind the camera, and so they also do a lot to bring that art into the main, in the way it is being shown to us, right? So ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हो सकते हैं. Let's see how it goes. बुक में कोई बात नहीं, आप नोट कर लीजिएगा, ये स्लाइड अवेलेबल होगी, वहां से आप ले लीजिएगा. ठीक है. अभी सारा नहीं करेंगे, बट थोड़ा सा कुछ इसमें हम आगे देखेंगे that how we can understand the personality type. So if I take ISTJ as the personality type, then you can be a quiet person. You are serious. You earn success by thoroughness and dependability. You are much more practical, matter of fact, realistic, responsible. You decide logically what should be done and work towards it steadily, regardless of distractions. Take pleasure in making everything orderly and organized, their work, their home, their life. Value traditions and loyalty. ISFJ अगर आपका कैरेक्टर है, और behind the scene leaders, let's see how these people will be. Quiet, friendly, responsible, conscious, committed and steady in meeting their obligations. Thorough, painstaking and accurate, loyal, considerate, notice and remember specifics about people who are important to them. Concerned with how other feels, strive to create an orderly and harmonious environment at work and at home also. So simply, if you go all other personality types combinations, you can conclude something like that. I'm not going to read all of these. You can take from the slide. Okay. So these are the next four. So first 8 जो points हैं वो I से शुरू होते हैं. That means these are the introvert people with other combinations. इसके बाद से E से शुरू होता है. That means extrovert with other combinations. So ये first 4 for the extrovert, and these are the next 4 for the extrovert. So total 16 combinations are there. ठीक है. पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट पे हम आएंगे कि कौन सा बेस्ट हो सकता है. देखो, बेस्ट पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट या टाइप वो होगा जो कि वर्ल्ड वाइड सूटेड हो. ठीक है. सो इफ आई गो बैक एंड मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड, अगर हम बिग 5 की बात करें तो some of the studies say openness to experience is that one personality type which can make you world leaders also. कि सपोज मैं यहाँ से चाइना भेज दी जाऊँ और मैं कुछ भी नया ट्राई करने से डरती हूँ. हाउ विल आई लिव देयर? ठीक है. राइट फ्रॉम द फूड टू वर्किंग एनवायरनमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग विल चेंज. मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में जापान का एग्जाम्पल दिया था. आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट करोशी, राइट? मैंने बताया था हाउ पीपल वर्क देयर, and that's the concept that after working for very long hours, when people are returning to home, they die on the street side. Some people on the metro station, some people on the roadside, देयर आर मेनी वीडियोज ऑल्सो अवेलेबल ऑन यूट्यूब ऑन दिस. ठीक है, फिर वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा चेंज किया गया, पर वो अभी उतना एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता. ठीक है, so somehow Japanese people have that kind of work culture where they are actually putting a lot of effort while working. ठीक है, so working for 15 to 20 hours is not that easy for anybody, but then they were doing it, right? सो ये एक वर्क कल्चर था. सो ओपननेस टू एक्सपीरियंस, ओपननेस होनी चाहिए फॉर एक्सपीरियंस. इफ आई गो टू जापान, मैं तो कहूँ नहीं, मुझे तो भारत में ना 8 घंटे लॉ बनाया था और मैं 8 घंटे 1 मिनट नहीं काम करूँगी, मैं जापान में सर्वाइव कैसे करूँगी? माई जूनियर्स आर वर्किंग फॉर 20 आवर्स एंड आई एम सेइंग 8 घंटे एंड दैट्स ऑल, बंद हो गया मेरा. ठीक है, ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. So somehow this is some of the studies say this is very important, but many of the other studies says that agreeableness and extroversion is important. ठीक है, you must have seen people, especially in the politics, who survive a lot. अगर आप politics में बिल्कुल हार्ड हेडेड हो जाओ, नो मीन्स नो वाले स्टेप पे, तो आप पॉलिटिक्स में सर्वाइव ही नहीं कर पाओगे. पॉलिटिक्स इज ऑल अबाउट पीपल, और पीपल कौन है? मैं और आप ही तो हैं. आप कुछ कहते हैं, मैं कुछ कहती हूँ, दूसरा कुछ और कहता है. सो दे हैव टू हियर एवरीबडी, और उनको सबका थोड़ा 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 सा करना होता है. ओके, सो दे कैन नॉट स्टिक टू वन थिंग, दे आर ऑलवेज फ्लेक्सिबल. एंड सो पीपल एक्चुअली दोज हु आर वेरी फ्लेक्सिबल, दे आर वेरी अडेप्टेबल ऑल्सो. ठीक है, तो अडेप्टेबिलिटी होनी बहुत ज़रूरी है. सो इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट ओपननेस टू एक्सपीरियंस, बट हैविंग दैट अडेप्टेबिलिटी इज इंपॉर्टेंट. तो वो आपको एग्रीबलनेस आएगी. नेक्स्ट इज एक्सट्रावर्जन. So people who are too introvert, they also find difficult to sustain a lot. So you have to बिल्कुल more on the extrovert side. किसको अच्छा लगता है एक चुपचाप बैठा हुआ इंसान यहाँ पे, और एक लकी गो गोइंग जो आए क्लास में, हाय हाय आप लोग कैसे हो, सबसे मिले, सबका नाम याद रहे. ठीक है, हम सबको ऐसे लोग अच्छे लगते हैं. ठीक है, और ऐसे लोग कम पसंद आते हैं जो आए और बिल्कुल चुपचाप एक कॉर्नर में. So having this personality trait is also very important. And so in case you want to become um, accepted at every place, then these 3 features probably, if you have personality type you have, there are high chances that you will be accepted. Let me go further. Coming on next, personality A type and type B. टाइप ए एंड टाइप बी, अक्सर आपने नाम सुना होगा, ये काफ़ी कॉमन सा पर्सनैलिटी टाइप है. तो बहुत सारे लोगों को आपने देखा होगा बहुत जल्दी में रहते हैं, बहुत जल्दी में रहते हैं, और कुछ कि कभी भी लाइफ में जल्दी में होते ही नहीं है. ठीक है, आप कैसे हैं? कितने लोग जल्दी वाले हैं क्लास में? बहुत. किस चीज़ की जल्दी रहती है? कहाँ जाना है? खाने की जल्दी है. ये लोग खाना भी बहुत जल्दी जल्दी खाते हैं. जिन्होंने हाथ रेस किया था, खाना जल्दी खाते हो? हाँ, आप सब पर्सनालिटी ए हो, मतलब टाइप ए हो, और जिन्होंने कहा नहीं, वो सब बी वाले हैं. हाँ, हाँ मिक्स होता है, बट 50-50 बहुत कम होता है. कहीं ना कहीं, मतलब इट माइट बी 51 and 49, कहीं एक साइड तो थोड़ा सा होगा. चलो अभी हम इसको देखते हैं. सो टाइप ए पर्सनालिटी, दीज आर द पीपल हु आर इम्पेशेंट विद द रेट ऑफ वर्क. बहुत जल्दी काम खत्म करना होता है. खत्म करो, फिर नेक्स्ट चीज में जाओ, वो भी जल्दी खत्म करो. पता नहीं कहाँ भागना है, बट कहीं भागना है. हाँ, बहुत अच्छी बात है. ये लोग जो है कुछ भी मिस नहीं करेंगे लाइफ में, सब कुछ आराम से इनको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, so what they do in 1 day probably we do in 2 days. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट, मूव एंड ईट रैपिडली. आप देखते हो कि कुछ लोग बहुत फास्ट वॉक कर रहे हैं, दे आर ऑलवेज इन सम हरी, जल्दी जल्दी चीजें करनी है, जल्दी जल्दी खाना खाना है. ठीक है, वांट टू मेजर एवरीथिंग, हर चीज, मतलब खाने में इतना टाइम क्यों वेस्ट करना. ठीक है, जल्दी जल्दी खा लो, विल से 5 मिनट्स ऑफ टाइम, 5 मिनट बचा के क्या करेंगे, लेकिन बचा लेंगे, ठीक है। डू सेवरल थिंग्स साइमल्टेनियसली, ये भी कर रहे हैं, वो भी कर रहे हैं, एक लैपटॉप पे यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं, इधर फोन पे भी कुछ लगे हुए हैं, फोन पे कॉलिंग भी चल रही है, ईयरफोन लगा के फोन पे काम, और ऐसे कुछ कुछ, ठीक है। टाइप बी पर्सनैलिटी इसके उल्टे होते हैं। नेवर फील अर्जेंसी एंड आर वेरी पेशेंट, आराम से, कोई जल्दी नहीं है, आराम से काम करेंगे, ठीक है। रिलैक्स्ड, ईट इन लेजरली फैशन एंड एंजॉय देमसेल्फ, ठीक है। ये तो खाना खाने आए, ठीक है, 5 मिनट ज्यादा लगेगा, बट आराम से टेस्ट लेके खा लेते हैं, बट ऑब्वियस। ठीक है। डू नॉट डिस्प्ले देयर अचीवमेंट्स, ठीक है, ऐसे लोग बहुत ही कंपोज से होंगे और उन्होंने बहुत कुछ अचीव भी किया होगा, तो दे डोंट वांट टू शो इट, आपको पता चल जाए तो बहुत अच्छी चीज है, बट वो अपने आप से नहीं बताएंगे। एंड फोर्थ, प्ले फॉर फन रादर देन टू प्रूव देमसेल्व्स, ठीक है, काम करते हैं, खुशी के लिए करते हैं, सैलरी मिलती है, अच्छी बात है, बट दे आर नॉट इन अ रैट रेस, हर किसी से compete नहीं करना। आई एम वर्किंग, इतना मुझे सैलरी मिलनी है, ठीक है, अच्छे से काम कर रहे हैं, आगे प्रोग्रेस भी चाहते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है दैट दे डोंट वांट एनी प्रमोशन इन अदर थिंग्स, दे वांट इट, बट देन इट्स अ माइंड गेम, दैट वेदर आई एम competing with you और आई एम नॉट competing with you, दैट्स इन माई माइंड, ठीक है, वो चीज़ नहीं है। बट इसके कुछ फ्लिप साइड भी है, अच्छी और बुरी चीज़ें। टाइप ए पर्सनैलिटी पीपल विल बी ऑलवेज एट ए हाई रिस्क ऑफ हार्ट डिजीज बिकॉज दे विल हैव हाई स्ट्रेस ऑल्सो। आप मल्टीपल चीज़ें करोगे, हमेशा फास्ट करोगे, भागने की कोशिश करोगे, रेस में रहोगे, compete करोगे, तो बट ऑब्वियस वी आर ह्यूमन बीइंग एंड वी विल फील स्ट्रेस, स्ट्रेस होगा तो क्या होगा, स्ट्रेस इज द फर्स्ट अलार्म फॉर ऑल मेजर सिकनेस इलनेस, ठीक है। इनको अभी भी जल्दी है इन्हें अभी भी जल्दी है, दे आर रनिंग ठीक है। सो आप हमेशा स्ट्रेस में रहोगे, बट देन positive side, they will get lot of success also, but obviously if somebody is putting so much of effort, they will get their return of hard work also, ठीक है, लेकिन hard work at a cost of health also। अब now how much you are able to balance that you have to see। आप अगर पर्सनालिटी टाइप ए पर्सनालिटी मेंटेन रखते हो and you are able to somehow manage your stress with some stress management techniques like maybe meditation, maybe like yoga, maybe you play a sport or something, ठीक है, अगर आप उसके लिए भी 5 मिनट बचा के टाइम निकाल लेते हो तो थोड़ा मैनेज रहेगा, अदरवाइज इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट। टाइप बी पर्सनालिटी, since they are much relaxed, they will also get everything but at their own pace। इनके साथ नेगेटिव तो ये हो गया, बट पॉजिटिव में क्या है कि ये लेस स्ट्रेस फील करेंगे एंड दैट वे दे विल बी मच हेल्दी। कमिंग ऑन ऑफ पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट्स, एज आई वाज टेलिंग, अभी हम देखेंगे ट्रेट्स कौन कौन से हो जाए। सो फर्स्ट पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट विच वी हैव टू स्टडी इज द कोर सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन। कोर सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन, कुछ ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो अपने को इवैल्यूएट करते रहते हैं, ठीक है। सो इन केस दे सी themselves their personality as a positive side which suits to their job requirement, then they like themselves and see themselves as effective, capable and in control of their environment, ठीक है। Perform better and job satisfaction is also very high because they think that they are in control of what is happening, they see a positive side to it, but जब ये negative side देखते हैं अपनी personality, then they tend to dislike themselves, question their capabilities and view themselves as powerless over their environment। So any of you on a positive or a negative side, some of you have some work experience, so you can tell us। Positive, positive, there must be many negatives also, negative वाले बताएंगे नहीं, but this also happens sometimes। You try to self evaluate and you find that you know I'm not able to handle the situation. Okay. And you think that whatever is happening to you, that is all because of the external environment and you are not capable. When you see it, then you have a negative side. Next is the Machiavellian personality. It is named after Niccolo Machiavelli, and these are quite a successful people also. इनकी पर्सनालिटी ट्रेड बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग होती है. लेट्स सी व्हाट इज दिस. सो इन केस यू आर हाई ऑन मैक, इसको शॉर्ट में मैक भी बोलते हैं, मैक पर्सनालिटी पीपल. सो इफ यू आर हाई ऑन द मैक साइड, अगर आपकी ये पर्सनालिटी साइड ट्रेड्स आपके बहुत डोमिनेंट हैं, देन व्हाट विल बी द फीचर? दिस यू विल बी pragmatic, very practical, very practical, maintains emotional distance. ठीक है. एंड बिलीव दैट एंड्स कैन जस्टिफाई मी. सो इनको चाहिए रिजल्ट, रिजल्ट सही आना चाहिए, आउटपुट सही होना चाहिए. थ्रू व्हाट मीन्स दे आर गेटिंग द रिजल्ट, दैट इज ए मटीरियल. मैनिपुलेट मोर, विन मोर, आर परसुएडेड लेस. यू कैन नॉट परसुएड देम मोर, रादर दे विल परसुएड यू अ लॉट. अगर उन्हें आपको किसी चीज़ के लिए मनाना होगा तो वो मना लेंगे. आपको उनके साथ थोड़ी देर छोड़ने की ज़रूरत है और आप फिर उनकी बात मान के ही बाहर आओगे. ठीक है. दे आर हाईली इफेक्टिव एंड इन द सिचुएशन वेयर बार्गेनिंग स्किल्स आर रिक्वायर्ड. मैंने अभी आपसे क्या कहा, अगर आपको कोई चीज़ उन्हें मनाना है, आपको उनके साथ थोड़ी देर छोड़ दिया जाए, आप वो चीज़ मान के बाहर आ जाओगे. दैट मीन्स दे विल बार्गेन सो हाई एंड दे विल कन्विंस यू whatever they are saying is correct for you, and so accordingly you should do. ठीक है. That offers substantial reward for the winning also. So in case they do something, they see what return they are getting because they are very much motivated by that, and so their personalities are very strong. They are quite successful in these situations where bargaining is required. Next is narcissism. So कौन आप में से ऐसा है जो अपने को शीशे में देख के बहुत खुश होता है? देखो मैंने लिखा है, बहुत बड़ा बड़ा लिखा हुआ उस पर. ऐसा कोई है जो शीशे में देखता है फिर कहता है मैं कितनी अच्छी हूँ या मैं अच्छा हूँ? कोई ऐसा है? सेल्फ लव काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन. हाँ, कोई बता नहीं रहा है. बाद में आप लोग डिस्कस कर लेना कौन है ऐसा. ठीक है. लेट्स सी द पर्सनालिटी character. A person who has grandiose sense of self-importance, requires excessive admiration, has a sense of entitlement and is little arrogant also because of that. जब आपको लगता है मैं बेस्ट हूँ, ठीक है, तो जब मैं बेस्ट हूँ तो हूँ, और मैं बेस्ट हूँ इसलिए मैं थोड़ी एरोगेंस तो वो कैरी करूँगी बिकॉज आई एम बेटर देन ऑल ऑफ यू, सो आई हैव टू कैरी दैट, राइट. Charismatic, so likely to emerge as leaders. Tend to be selfish and exploitative also a little bit. They often carry the attitude that others exist for their benefit and rated as less effective at their jobs than others. क्योंकि आप अगर सबसे बेस्ट हैं तो स्कोप ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट तो रही नहीं क्या ना. आपको मैं बोलूँगी कुछ सीख लो तो आप कहोगे मैम आई एम द बेस्ट. ठीक है. तो जब आप बेस्ट हो तो फिर क्या सीखोगे और क्या काम करोगे. ठीक है. सो बट ऑब्वियस I am not saying that they are not successful, but then they are treated as less effective when you compare it with others who are working with them. Next is self-monitoring. Now this personality trait, people have these characters. So these individuals have the ability to adjust behavior to external situational factors. Highly adaptable. ठीक है. आप अपने को मॉनिटर कर रहे हो, व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड इन दिस सिचुएशन, तुरंत अपनी पर्सनालिटी को उसमें एडजस्ट कर लिया. ठीक है. कैन बिहेव डिफरेंटली इन डिफरेंट सिचुएशन. यही तो आपका एक कोर स्ट्रेंथ है, बिकॉज यू कैन चेंज योर बिहेवियर एवरी टाइम. जैसा सिचुएशन है वैसा आपको करना है, एंड सो दैट इज अ वेरी बिग ट्रेट. हम में से बहुत लोग अपने को चेंज नहीं कर पाते, एंड देन बिकॉज वी फेल टू चेंज, वी फेल. इनके लिए तो बहुत अच्छा है बिकॉज दे कैन ईजिली एडजस्ट. no ego issues, nothing. Their personality character is that they are going to adjust in every situation and they can change themselves accordingly. Contradictions between public persona and their private self also, because when you keep on changing yourself for every situation, but obviously what you are and what people see you are will be little different. More mobile in their careers, receive more promotions. ये trade बहुत बड़ा trade होता है, and so but obviously you will get the benefit of that. Better performers emerge as leaders, occupy central positions in the organization, because if you are too strong headed person, you cannot get that positions because you will not be able to deal with people. Fifth is the risk taking. So make rapid decisions, use less information in making their choice as compared to low risk takers, right? So there are people, you must have seen people who are working in stock market, right? So yes, जिसने बोला है करता है क्या खुद? So you a more risk taker? Yes, so they will agree. ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं, by the way, risk taking is not blind risk taking. You have basis of taking a risk also. That means you have knowledge of the market, you have some kind of understanding of the market, uh, you have data with you do your analysis well and then you take that risk. ऐसा नहीं है कि बस आज सपने में आया इस कंपनी के स्टॉक बढ़ेंगे तो इसमें शेयर में पैसा लगा दिया, ऐसा नहीं होता. And all those who do that, they eventually fail. अक्सर सुनने में आता है many of the people have lost lot of money in the share market. Why does it happen? First of all, फाइनेंस का बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, हाँ हाँ रिसर्च नहीं करते हैं, ठीक है. सो बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है दैट यू शुडंट इन्वेस्ट ऑल योर मनी एट वन प्लेस. तो अगर मेरे पास आज के दिन पे 10 लाख रुपए हैं एंड आई इन्वेस्ट ऑल इन शेयर्स, दैट इज नॉट अ गुड मूव एट ऑल. ठीक है, you need to invest at different places so that in case even if you lose, you don't become suicidal, right? You should be able to survive after that, right? So put only that much of money, even if that you lose, you don't have to think otherwise. आप उसको lead कर सको, आप survive कर सको. So that is the first rule. The second is that whenever you make a decision, your decision should be based on certain fundamentals. ठीक है, कुछ एनालिसिस होना चाहिए, कुछ समझ होनी चाहिए. नहीं है, so take the help of an expert, learn it, but don't act blindly. It is just as you put a some cloth on your eyes, अपनी आंखें बंद कर लो and you start driving. हम में से कोई भी कितने भी अच्छे ड्राइवर हो, in case you shut your eyes and start driving, आप नहीं कार चला सकते, आप ड्राइव नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, सो यू नीड टू लर्न इट with open eyes. So do those analysis, do understand the market, do understand the stock, do understand the situation. In case you are a new mover, कुछ दिन सिर्फ देखो तो मार्केट को. Who said that today only you have to invest? आज मेरे पास पैसे आ गए, आज क्या जरूरत है इन्वेस्ट करने की? Let me see market for some days, some time, maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe a year. समझो तो क्या चीज है. When you start getting some understanding, there are certain techniques through which you can see you can predict also the price fluctuation and everything. The moment you learn it, start investing. तब अगर कुछ लॉस भी होगा तो मिनिमम लॉस होगा, ठीक है. You will not lose all your money and what you lose वो कम होगा and what you gain will be more, and so that is it. That is exactly what you are looking for. Next is proactive personality. So people who are proactive, how many of you are proactive? Nobody. One hand. इतना सा आया है, थोड़ा सा proactive है, इतने ही हाथ है. ठीक है. So anyway, proactive personality, people who identify opportunities, show initiative and take action, and persevere until meaningful change occurs. Create positive change in their environment, become change agent than a leader, are successful and develop contacts a lot. So they are proactive, they identify the opportunity. There are people who are late actors. कुछ opportunity आई, उसके बाद बहुत टाइम तक वेट करते हैं, फिर एक्ट करते हैं. And there are certain people, the moment they know it, they will search about it. आप देख लो, अगर आपको कोई नई चीज़ मैं बताऊं और आप जाके उसको 1 साल के बाद सर्च करते हो, you are never a proactive personality. The people who are proactive, बहुत सारे students class में ही search करके वहीं, the moment you tell them, they will search it on phone and they will start asking question also. They are quite a proactive student. Okay, so you can see from your small actions what kind of person you are. And so these are the personality traits. These personality traits will certainly reflect in your personalities. Now there is a self-assessment personality tool which we are going to conduct in this class. We'll see what kind of personalities you are and we can take a small test for that. ठीक है, थोड़ा टाइम टेकिंग होगा, 5-10 मिनट लगेंगे, but then we'll do it. Okay, so you can start doing it in your register, and in the last slide we will try to score it. So personality profile inventory. There are 24 statements with 2 choices, A and B. Please choose one out of 2. Do not spend too much time on a statement. Generally, your first reaction is the most accurate reaction. Sometimes you may not like either of the choice or you may like both choice, but have to choose one of the alternative. For example, suppose point 1 में लिखा है A and B में, I like tea A में, और B में लिखा है I like coffee. ठीक है, अब आप ऐसे हो जो चाय कॉफी दोनों ही नहीं पीते हो, या फिर इक्वल पसंद है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है. बट देन वॉट एवर क्लिक्स यू मोर, कई बार होता है ना कि आज मुझे चाय ही पीनी है या आज मुझे कॉफी ही पीनी है, उस समय जो दिमाग में आता है, जस्ट टेक इट. टू स्टेटमेंट्स मे नॉट बी कंपेरेबल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, टी एंड कॉफी आर समहाउ कंपेरेबल. इट कैन बी आई वॉन्ट टू स्लीप एंड देन इट कैन बी आई वॉन्ट टू ड्रिंक टी. अब ये तो कंपेरेबल स्टेटमेंट्स भी नहीं है, बट स्टिल यू हैव टू मेक योर चॉइस वॉट एवर सूट्स यू बेस्ट एट दैट पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट. जितना दिमाग लगाइएगा उतना गलत आंसर करिएगा. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग यू वांट आउट ऑफ द टू, just take it, note it down in your register and move forward. Please do these 4 questions and then I will go on the next slide. Note करना है तभी. ठीक है, let others do. कुछ ऐसे हैं ना जिन्होंने मेरी बात सुनी और अब पढ़ना शुरू करें, उनके लिए टाइम तो देना पड़ेगा ना. So please do note the question number 1, 2, 3, 4. And for 1, suppose you have selected A, तो 1 के आगे डैश करके A लिख लेना, 2 में डैश करके B लिख लेना. हाँ, क्वेश्चन 24 आएंगे. हाँ, 24 नंबर्स के साथ में A B जो भी सेलेक्ट कर रहे हो आप. ठीक है, नहीं बेटा, बस 1 लिख के A लिख लो, 2 लिख के B लिख लो, बस दैट्स ऑल. When all of you are done, please do let me know. कोई कर रहा है अभी, बता देना. All done? Somebody is doing there. Tell. Done? All done? चलो. I'll tell you once this is off. डन। कोई है जो कर रहा है अभी? सबका हो गया? चलो नेक्स्ट। 11 छूट गया, अभी मैं वापस दिखा देती हूँ, इसके आगे का कर लो आप पहले। तो जिस जो भी ऑप्शन आपको बेटर लगे, जो भी ऑप्शन, जो भी ऑप्शन डेसिमल से भी थोड़ा ज्यादा लगे, बस उसको सेलेक्ट कर लो। ऑल डन, आगे चले। अच्छा ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, आराम से करिए। इसमें भी चीटिंग होगी। कुछ चीज़ों में चीटिंग का कोई फायदा नहीं होता, और आज के टाइम में चीटिंग का कोई भी फायदा किसी भी चीज़ में नहीं होता। ऑल डन। मैं वापस दिखा दूंगी, जिसका जो छूटा होगा आई गो बैक। ऑल डन। मैं वापस से जाती हूँ कि किसी का 1 to 4 में एनीबडी मिस्ड एनी पॉइंट? ओके। 5 to 11 ही मिस्ड 11th। आप 11th वाला पॉइंट कर लो। इन केस एनी ऑफ यू मिस्ड एनी पॉइंट प्लीज। डन। एनीबडी मिस फ्रॉम 12 to 17? हाँ कर लो, आप लोग कर लो। फाइनली आज हम सब लोग अपनी अपनी पर्सनालिटी के बारे में जान जाएंगे एंड होपफुली यू विल यूज दिस नॉलेज इन शेपिंग योर पर्सनालिटी फॉर मच वाइडर एक्सेप्टेंस। ठीक है, हम सबकी पर्सनालिटी में कुछ फ्लिप साइड होता है, कुछ बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग साइड होता है एंड सो अकॉर्डिंगली वी ऑल आर सूटेड एंड बेस्ट fit for different jobs, and accordingly please do select your jobs also. In case there is anything which is not suiting as per your job requirement, try to work on that. या तो जॉब चेंज करो या अपनी पर्सनालिटी को उसके अकॉर्डिंग फिट करो. So try to work on that aspect and see how well you can make a change in your personality. ठीक है, done. 18 to 24 में anybody left? All done. आते हैं हम असेसमेंट पे. ठीक है, so now this is a table for the assessment. What you have to do is, please समझ लीजिए क्या करना है. You can see item number 1, 2, 3, 4 horizontally लिखा हुआ है in the board. ठीक है, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ऐसे करके सारे points हैं up to 24 points. For every 24 point there is an answer A and B. For example 21st वाला को देखो, 21st के आगे A and B लिखा हुआ है. So ideally in case this was on a paper, तो अब मैं कहती हूँ आप उसको circle कर लो. That means what answer you have selected you have to transfer it in this score sheet. ठीक है, तो आप इसको ड्रॉ कर लीजिए और अपने अपने आंसर को सर्कल कर लो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 के लिए यू सेलेक्टेड ए, तो सर्कल ए. हाँ, तो भी इसको हमें फिर टोटल करना है, सो इसी फॉर्मेट में कर लीजिए. सो आंसर नंबर 1, इन केस यू हैव सेलेक्टेड ए, सर्कल ए. इफ यू हैव सेलेक्टेड बी देन सर्कल बी, डोंट सर्कल ए. ओके, एंड सिमिलरली फॉर ऑल द क्वेश्चन. जो एस एन वाला कॉलम है वो क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 के लिए है ना. हाँ, तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 पे जब आप आइए तो देखिए ए सेलेक्ट किया था कि बी सेलेक्ट किया था आपने, एंड सो यू हैव टू ट्रांसफर ऑल योर आंसर इन देयर इन दिस स्कोर शीट. फॉर ऑल 24 क्वेश्चन ईदर ए और बी यू आर गोइंग टू सेलेक्ट. ठीक है, आपने एक सेलेक्ट किया है हर केस में, इसको यहाँ पे ट्रांसफर कर लो अपने आंसर को इसी शीट पे. इसके दोनों साइड को रजिस्टर के फॉर्म में कर लो, बार बार क्यों देखना है। हो गया। अभी इसके बाद में फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू टेक कॉलम ई में सारे ए हैं। सो आपने अगर आउट ऑफ दी 6 एज आपने 5 को सर्कल किया हुआ है तो टोटल विल बी 5। सिमिलरली फॉर ई आई एस एन टी एफ जे एंड पी, राइट द टोटल नंबर ऑफ सर्कल्ड ए और बी। दिख रहा है? Once you have written the total of E, I, S, N, T, F, J, P column, ठीक है, देन जो भी E एंड I में जो भी ज़्यादा नंबर है, ठीक है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग यहाँ पे आप टाइप मेंशन कर सकते हो। सपोज A को आपने लिखा 5 और B को लिखा 1 इन E एंड I कॉलम, तो बट ऑब्वियस 5 इज मोर देन 1, तो वो आपका डोमिनेंट कैरेक्टर है वहाँ के लिए। सो आप इस केस में, हाँ, इक्वल के केस में इट हैज़ टू बी सम साइड, आपने थोड़ा सा ठीक है, बट एनी साइड यू हैव टू बी, आप थोड़े से किसी एक साइड में होंगे। सो अगर ई है तो आप एक्सट्रोवर्जन है, आई अगर ज़्यादा है तो आप इंट्रोवर्जन है, अगर एस और एन में एस ज़्यादा है देन यू आर सेंसिंग एंड एन ज़्यादा है देन यू आर इंट्यूटिव। In case T is more than F, then you are thinking, otherwise feeling. If J is high than the P, then judging or the perceiving. So once you are done with this, E I में कोई एक होंगे आप, S N में कोई आप एक होंगे, T F में कुछ आप एक होंगे, J P में आप कुछ एक, कोई बात नहीं, जो ज़्यादा है। हाँ, ओके। किसी साइड हम थोड़ा ज़्यादा होते हैं, वेरी रेयर कि आप बिल्कुल ही 50-50 टाइप्स हो, कहीं किसी साइड। हाँ, अच्छा, एनी वन ऑफ यू कैन टेल मी योर रिजल्ट एंड सो आई कैन शो इट। हाँ, बताओ। तो ये वाला सेकंड रो में इनका आंसर है। सो ही इज ESFJ, सर्वेंट लीडर, ही इज वार्म हार्टेड। अब बताना कितना आपका ये सही है। हाँ हाँ, मैं दिखाती हूँ। सो लेट मी रीड फॉर हिम, वी ऑल कैन सी डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस। वार्म हार्टेड, कॉन्शियसनेस एंड कोऑपरेटिव, want harmony in their environment, work with determination to establish it, like to work with others to complete tasks accurately on time, loyal, follow through even in small matters, notice what others need in their day-to-day lives and try to provide it, want to be appreciated for who they are and what they contribute. Is it correct for your personality type? Accurate. सिमिलरली प्लीज ये स्लाइड्स हैं, आप अपनी अपनी स्लाइड का देख सकते हो अगर इसमें कहीं पे आपका आ रहा है तो, एंड यू कैन नो योर पर्सनालिटी टाइप अकॉर्डिंगली. All right. So let me end this lecture on this note. Um, Done. आप रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप. हाँ स्टॉप कर दीजिए. Just wait.